Hello, I'm Ian and this is Somerset News Network. When you're a journalist, they say a story has legs for how long the story will last. Some stories are only a headline for a day. Some may last a week, maybe Sunday newspapers with a couple of follow-ups on Monday and Tuesday, and then it'll die. And they then find something else. This transgender what is a woman court case has really got going. It's got loads of legs. It's a millipede. I don't know when it's going to stop. The court ruling 2 days ago said that a woman is a biological female. So there are only, according to law, two sexes, male and female. They also said that trans women are not women because they're men. Even if they've had their parts cut off, their DNA is still male. Now everybody's up in arms about this. You've got the people with common sense, our side, are saying, thank God for that. Somebody with a bit of sense for once. And I would say 95% of the population agree. But you've got the trans woke lefties, and they won't accept it. They're still saying that they got trans rights. Well, we've only got one right. Yes, we've got human rights. And I talk about rights and liberties that we've got. But the rights and liberties aren't gender-based. Everybody's got them. Male, female, trans, all got the same rights. A group, an individual group, can't have more rights than somebody else. Or they can't commandeer rights for their own separate group of people. Rights and liberties are general for all. You've got the not the Metro Police, the Transport Police have come out and said that no trans woman, which is really a man, will be able to frisk a woman. That's good. That's what we want. That's right. Now, what's going to happen with the people that have had police investigations because of things they've said? You've got there was a kid in school said that there was two sexes, and he got suspended from school for being transphobic. This court case proved that the kid was right. It was a biological fact that there are two sexes. I hope the school is now going to apologise and change its policy. What about the 3 nurses that were sacked because they didn't want to go into the nurses' changing room where a trans man came in who had full tackle mind? He was a full male. He just said that he was identified as a female and could use, and the hospital said that that was his right. So the 3 nurses took it to court, lost their jobs. What's going to happen to that? Have they got a chance of appeal now? Oh, I hope so. See, a nurse knows the difference between a male and a female. They do human biology at college. They know what a man is, they know what a woman is. And they don't want a man in their changing rooms, even if he's got a dress on. And I think the girls were right. But this is how this woke world, this woke ideology has got us. What's happened over the years is we had gay rights to start with, lesbian and gay. Now we find that the lesbian gay movement have distanced themselves from the trans movement, and the trans movement has taken over the lobbying for gay and so what we've got now is we've got lesbian, gay and bi people, because the trans people didn't like people to be bi, although technically if you're a man and you consider yourself a lesbian, you're bisexual if you're dating other men. If you're a man that thinks he's a woman, it gets all very complicated. But let's just stick to basics. There are two sexes. If you want to dress as a woman and say you're a woman, it's entirely up to you. But you ain't coming into my wife's space. That's all there is to it. And the court case has made that clear. Now I want to know what's going to happen to the kid that was at school that said there was two sexes and got suspended from school for being transphobic. Well, I went into being transphobic in my last video. A phobia is being scared of something. Because you're against something or you don't like something doesn't make you frightened of it, which is a fear of it. Transphobic is a made-up word, made-up concept. So I dealt with that in the last video. I'm not going to go on about that for long. But where does that leave us now? The Labour Party, they haven't said anything. They've all been saying that trans women are women. Well, the court case said they're obviously not. You know, the Scottish government was saying because you've got a certificate that says you're now a woman, you're a woman. But they're a man, if you see what I mean. And the court has said this. Now, the amount of men who consider themselves female, who want to transition, they call it, have the bits cut off, and take the hormones to grow breasts, you know, and some even want to breastfeed. Where did that come from? How crazy can you get? I think some people have got real psychological problems. And the Scottish court said that as long as you got this piece of paper, you're a man, now a woman. Well, that's been overturned by this court case. The number of men who identify as women, the number of men who identify as women is 0.1%. That's 1 in 1,000. So talk about minorities. But they've got all the press, all the coverage, all the say. You would think there was, if you watch the television, especially the BBC, you would think that there was trans women all over the place. But there's not. It's only 0.1%. It's 1 in 1,000. Men identify as a woman. Number of women who identify as men is also 0.1%. It's not a lot, is it? The survey, the government survey, said there was 48,000 transgender men. That's it. Of a population of what, 65 million now? I don't know, something around there. You know, they're nothing. But they've got all the say, they get all the press. They've got all these rights. But then there's none of them. There's more fishermen than there's trans men. Yeah, there's more fishermen than there are trans men. Well, why don't we have fishermen's rights? How about that one? Hello, what do you identify as? Oh, I'm a fisherman. Now, I'm sorry, I'm getting off the script here. There are 0.1% of women who identify as men. There are only 0.06% of people who consider themselves non-binary. I don't know how the hell you become non-binary. There are only two sexes, male, female. How you become non-binary, I do not understand. And there's 0.04% of people who identify as a different gender. It doesn't specify what gender it is, but they could be an alien, a spaceman, a cat, a dog, a horse, or whatever. And that's 0.04%. It's only a couple of thousand people. Absolutely weird. But the woke leftist ideology has allowed this to happen. We have to stand up, we have to be counted, and we've just got to say, hey, hang on a minute. There's only two genders, male and female. If you want to be something else, that's entirely up to you. But you can't have all the press. And if anybody says anything against you, they're transphobic. I've gone into that. There is no such thing as being transphobic unless you're afraid of them. That's what a phobia is. You know, oh, now this is a good one. There was a couple of people being interviewed who were trans activists on a YouTube channel. I watched a couple of YouTube channels this morning. And you can't make this up. They say now they are going to the European Court to overturn the Supreme Court decision that there's only two sexes. How about that one then? Unbelievable. Oh, trans rights are human rights. Yeah, but I've been into that. We've all got rights. And the rights are for everybody. You can't single one section of community out. You have to have some logic. You have to have some common sense. Anyway, I expect in the next couple of days I'll be doing another video on this, and then I'll get plodded at the door saying, Ian, we've got to understand, like last time, we've got to understand what your thinking is. It's the thought police. But if I'm saying what the court said, then that's the law. That's logic. We know it's logic. That's what the Bible says. Man made man and woman. Go forth and multiply. God didn't make man to change his sex and be a woman. He didn't say go forth and change your sex, did he? I'm not a Bible basher, but it makes it sound crazy, doesn't it? You know? Go forth and become a woman. You can. You're male or female. That's it. No different. Two sexes. And how you become, well, non-binary, God only knows. When I was doing psychology, when I was in youth work, people that abstained from sex were saying they were asexual, which meant they didn't have any sex. They didn't identify as male or female, they just said they were asexual, meaning they didn't have sex. Well, now that's been turned into non-binary. And I don't understand how you can be non-binary. Anyway, this is going to go on for ages. You know, I've done 2 videos now on this. And I bet I'll get prod at the door. I'm just wondering how long it'll take them. Or will this court case make them think, hang on a minute, he's telling the truth. Anyway, Ian, Somerset News Network, signing off. And I bet you I'm going to have to do another one in a couple of days. With all these woke, woke lefties on YouTube and Twitter and all sorts. Let's see what they say about it. Bye bye.